Good evening, everybody. Please be aware if you're attending this meeting, our meetings are recorded for future viewing. We are privileged to gather on the traditional territory of the Kwakwaka'wakw. We'll call the meeting to order, and there are two additions to the agenda. Item 5B, letter of support that the Gatehouse is looking for, and 5C is a letter from the regional district of Mount Waddington in Lake. Are there any other additions to the agenda? Seeing none, then can I have a motion, please, to accept the amended agenda? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, item 4A, minutes of the August 8th, 2022 public hearing minutes for adoption. Adoption. Second. Okay. All those in favor? 5B, special council meeting minutes, September 6th, 2022 for adoption.
We have minutes when there was a meeting that was occurred. I think to report that we informed. Okay.
Moved by, second, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Minutes of the September 8th special council event meeting. Adoption. Moved, seconded, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And then 4D, minutes of September 27th, regular 2022 regular council meeting for adoption. Seconded. In favor? Item 5A, we have a donation request from the Gatehouse Theatre. This is for the Missoula Theatre that will be held at the Gatehouse, and I believe the request $500.
Support the request.
Seconded. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Councilor Mitchell. You seconding the motion?
No, I second that, yeah.
Comments? Motion?
Motion. It was a motion.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Item 5E.
Can't I even tell you?
Ryan, Kathy Mitchell is here and would love to tell us. Martin Sorry is here and would love to tell us about the Missoula Theatre.
Just a few minutes. So basically it's Red Riding Hood that's coming in, and we're going to be working with 60 kids. I'm struggling finding a pianist. So if you know of a pianist, please let me know. So I've tried about 4 or 5 people that I know, and everybody's busy, right? And it does, you know, so that. But it's grade 1 to grade 7, and there's 60 children going to be involved. And it costs about $4,000 because, you know, it's expensive. So I have written lots of issues. So I really, really appreciate the town's support. And grade 1s are going to be raccoons.
Oh.
Yeah. Any questions?
Any questions, Councillor Mitchell, for Kathy Martin?
No, I'm totally in favor of this. I think we should put some money on it.
Please, yeah, please come and see it.
Okay, thank you. Big comment. I'm glad to see it come back.
Oh, I know, this is 2 years.
Yeah. Okay. Item 5B, we have a letter of support and also a confirmation of support form for the gate. From the Gatehouse Theatre. They're applying for a grant which they would like to put towards the annual festival that they do. So no money required, just a letter of support and then this form filled out by staff.
Motion support in that.
Second. Any comments, questions? Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And then we have a letter that came in from Patrick Dunhay from the Regional District of Mount Waddington. And so they had received some ocean legacy funds for the ocean waste sorting facilities at 7 Mile. And this request here, there's no expectation of financial support, but Ocean Legacy is developing signage and has, have reached out to all the local governments, First Nations, and agencies to see if they would like to add their logo to the signage. Go ahead.
Question. I guess my thought is that either everybody puts their logo on there or nobody does. Because it is a regional landfill, regional tax dollars supported. So, you know, I'm in favor of putting our logo there, but if nobody else is, wouldn't want to see ours the only one on there. How it gets managed is just something.
Does mine come over the team and actually take your contracts and drop them off? So, go into this.
Any other comments? So motion then to, do you want to word the motion?
My motion is that we put our logo on the signage if other municipalities and First Nations are participating.
Looking for that motion? Discussion on that? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. 780 reports. Any councilor reports? And then we'll go to item B, which is the August and September 2022 checklist. Questions for staff?
What item are we on? I'm missing something here.
On the check listing, so 19 to 25.
Right, yeah, okay, thank you.
Question for staff? Not just receive. All those in favor of receipt? Opposed, carried. Okay, item 7C, August and September 2022 Public Works Department report. Our Public Works managers here, if you have any questions.
I
Okay, Councillor Cole first and then Councillor Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor Wisham. Just wondering if there's an update on the Connected Coast Survey team access and possible locations after the last meeting.
Staff.
Good evening, Councillor Cole, through the chair. We are currently working on another site visit by the company Baylink doing the installation to look at various different proposed sites. So that's in progress.
You have a date yet, was the question, I believe.
Oh, a big pardon. Sorry, the audio is cutting in and out quite badly. It might be my end. I'm not too sure, but I don't have a firm date as of yet.
Just one more comment, if I may. Or question, are you looking at the sewage treatment site? That message get through as a suggestion?
Correct. Correct. Yep. That is one of the proposed sites. Yep.
Councillor Mitchell, go ahead.
I see on the list, the municipal harbor upgrade project efficiencies for the contractor's work are scheduled along with the installation of the new fish cleaning float. Now, at the last meeting, the engineer was here and I specifically asked for them to provide a drawing. In fact, I think I asked 3 times before he said yes, and there's no drawing. So my motion is to approve the completion of the repairs of the remediation repairs, as long as they're exactly as the specifications in the original drawings, because we have those, and we know that they didn't construct it to the original ones. So my motion is that we approve it if they're going to use the original drawings and build it the way it was designed to be built in the first place.
Okay, seconder for that motion, and then staff has a comment.
I'll second the motion.
Go ahead, Brenda Johnson.
Sorry. Councilor Mitchell, though, can you just repeat that again? I have approved, if they approve it to the original drawings.
Councilor Mitchell, she's looking for clarification on the wording on your motion.
Oh, thank you. I think I caught it. Could you just read it back to me? I can't see it on my screen.
I have approved, if they approve it to the original drawings.
Well, if they construct it to the original drawings.
So reference to the grade, Councilor Mitchell, or is that the concern?
The original drawings show the approach being on grade with the sidewalk. And that's the way it was when they arrived and started taking things apart. And now it's not, and it needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed properly, in my view.
So I do have a question for staff. We'll be not waiting on drawings that they committed to giving us.
Through the chair, I did reach out to the engineer today and heard that, yes. But I will follow up maybe tomorrow and I'll press it out to council.
I couldn't actually hear that answer. It was pretty garbled.
This time, yeah.
So Councilor Mitchell, I reached out to the engineer today, but I haven't had a response. I'll follow up again tomorrow, and when I do hear something, I'll message out to council what the update is and your expectation.
If I may speak to my motion, thank you, by the way, for doing that, Brenda. I appreciate it. In the absence of a drawing, those guys are going to show up to do the remediation. It's apparently, I believe we need to hold them to the blueprints. That's why we have engineers and blueprints, and they need to do it the way it was designed.
You're
And
down? Oh, sorry, I thought you were done. Go ahead, finish, Councilor Mitchell.
well, anything less is a deficiency, and right now it's actually an embarrassment, and we need to get it fixed. We need to get it fixed properly. And just while I'm on the topic, the planks are coming up everywhere on that dock. The brand new planks, they're not fastened down securely at all, anywhere. And that needs to be corrected as well. It's no good. There's just no excuse for it. I'm sorry. We got planks that have been down for 25 years or 20 years, and they're still down. They're not coming up. So there are fasteners that will hold them in place. I'm not a construction guy, but I just know a loose plank is a tripping hazard and a liability.
Thanks, Councilor Downey.
Can I get clarity on the motion that was put forward? What is that related to specifically? Is this the motion to the contractor's requirement to address the deficiencies? What is the motion for?
The motion is for the item that says deficiencies for the contractor's work have been addressed and are scheduled along with the installation of the new fish cleaning float, which, by the way, we didn't ask for. We're just getting it. And we did ask for the approach to be built a certain way, and it wasn't done that way. And we have drawings that were provided prior to the beginning of the project that weren't followed. So the motion is to follow the drawings, right? I think that's pretty clear.
Follow the drawings with respect to coming back to address the deficiencies.
That's right. Just do it the way it was designed. Don't reinvent the wheel.
It's just the motion. I need to connect it to something. And right
Okay.
now, to me, it doesn't connect. So sorry, I just needed clarity. Thank you.
Is it?
So Councilor Mitchell, you're saying it to do to the original, regardless of what they come back with to say how they're going to address the deficiencies? Is that how I understand your motion to be?
If they don't come back with anything for us to approve, then I guess we can approve what we approved in the beginning. That's all I'm saying. If they come back with a solution, of course, I don't think I want to be saying, no, that's it. You lost your chance to do it your way. Just that they need to come back and talk to us. These guys are so far behind in finishing this project. It's time that we played hardball a little bit. And, we're the guys writing the check. We need to be respected.
Staff, Julian, go ahead, Julian Allen.
Yeah, through the chair, just a little bit of clarification there. I totally respect Councillor Mitchell's view on that the delays are inexcusable. There's been one thing and another, but the project has been delayed amazingly. And the addressing of the trestle as well as the fish cleaning float has been delayed due to numerous complications. However, I just want to clarify, because it is in the resolution, that with any of these projects, the original drawings specify a certain thing, a certain design. Once you're in the field, quite often there is a lot of manipulation, if you will, to get things to work, and for whatever reason, and you stray from the original design. So I'd just be cautioning a little bit. I think what happened was that the company actually did stray from the original design, which did produce like an issue with the actual ramp and the approach to the trestle. As CAO Brenda Johnson actually said, we are waiting on some kind of confirmation of design from the contractors, and respectfully to Ryan Mitchell, that if they come back and without those drawings, obviously we're going to hold them to something, but it might not be specifically as per the original drawing. The oversight, which hasn't been mentioned in all of these talks, is actually that the grade of the concrete where the trestle actually joins to has quite a slope, and that's an issue which was actually not even looked at in the original design. So the original design shows the trestle finishing on or very close to the abutment, the lock block wall that everybody's familiar with there, and not going into the parking lot per se by approximately 8 or 10 feet. So that's being taken off, and the lock block wall is going to be the end point of this trestle as per the original drawing. However, the sidewalk, if you will, that concrete that it's abutting to, is not level. So there will be some kind of transition, not as is now, but I'm anticipating some kind of a transition plate or something like that to try and make it as level as possible, because the concrete is on such an angle. So I just wanted to make it clear that it may not be exactly as per the original drawings. And if council wishes, we can get more clarification on that, and hopefully another drawing prior to proceeding with the modifications.
Comments?
I guess we didn't anticipate increasing the tripping hazards. I recall the report that we had from our engineers 3 years ago, who told us that we needed to replace the approach because it was in danger of imminent failure because it was a poor design, which I believe they were right. And there was a tripping hazard because it was sinking at the front, at the leading edge, and people could trip there. Well, if you go there now, there's a dozen tripping hazards on that approach. It's far more dangerous than it ever was. And if they couldn't make it better than it was, I don't buy that the concrete was the problem. The problem was a bad construction process, and they need to fix that. And if they don't come up with a plan, then we have to make them adhere to what we had, which was better than what's there now. That's for darn sure. And the ultimate result needs to be 0 tripping hazards. There's no reason why that thing can't be on grade. It was on grade before. So, and You know, we pay engineers really good money to go in there and manage these projects for us. And I'm really disappointed in the engineering firm that allowed that mess to turn out there. And for the engineer to tell me they did a great job, the welding is very marginal. I inspected it myself, and I know another welder who did, and you look at it and there's incomplete welds all over the place. And, you know, it's not a great job, but, you know, I guess it's satisfactory. They passed it. Anyway, we just need to make sure they do the job right. And that's why I made that motion, that if they don't come back with a drawing, we use what we started with. And we need to approve it as far as I'm concerned, just like we said.
Any other comments from? No? All right, we'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Our motion is defeated. We did have a motion, though, I believe, from the last meeting that if not, we can make that the drawings, corrected drawings do come to council. Was there a formal motion made? The last meeting?
Okay, I have another motion. And my motion is that no work is approved, is to be proceeded with until council has agreed to the modifications that they're going to make to correct this.
Seconder for that motion?
Yeah, sure, for discussion.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, with respect, Council Mitchell, like that's gonna come to the next council anyway, so I don't see a point. I trust staff processes. And we got what we got, and I trust it's gonna be on grade.
I don't think we could trust these guys as far as we could throw them. The job is crappy. They've done a poor job. They haven't completed it anywhere near their scheduled time. They haven't come back and do the remediation work when they said they were going to come back. And now we're just going to let them make the decisions. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, and we get some fly-by-night outfit that doesn't come in and finish the job properly.
If you can.
We don't have
you
any
can-
water down there. We've got planks popping off and a ramp that isn't accessible.
Councilor Mitchell, if you can just, you have every right to voice your displeasure about the work. Please try to keep some of the wording respectful, please.
Whatever.
Councilor Downey?
I just was going to state that I believe that this would be for staff. We have a harbor manager listening in, so he's fully aware of the concerns of council, and between Public Works or CAO and harbor, I do have confidence that it will be addressed. They're users of the harbor as well, so none of us want anybody to be at risk or put our municipality with the increased liabilities and injured residents, so I'm okay with it.
Well,
Staff.
I'll call the question then. All those in favor? Opposed? It's defeated. Any other questions for Julian on the report, staff report on the harbor? Moving on to item 7D, we have snow removal equipment request from the Public Works manager. If I may ask, Julian, I know that it says here anticipated estimate is to be 75,000. Is that with all taxes in and everything, Julian?
Yeah, through the chair, that would be basically excluding GST. Yep, you're correct.
And I have another question. It's a budgetary question. So did this come as a surprise, or was this on the horizon? It feels like a bit of a surprise to council. Even though we have reserves, I'm just wondering how this came about.
No, it it was a bit of a surprise, sort of this time of year, bearing in mind that this was about a month ago or so, readying equipment for transition to a different season, like obviously getting the plow truck and brine truck ready for use. It was then that we basically found a lot of issues with this unit since last year. And basically, as I put in the report, it's are we throwing good money after bad? I mean, we're at the point where this is one of the oldest pieces of equipment in our fleet, been around forever, and we keep patching, and then with the assistance of one of the local garages and mechanics, we went through a thorough inspection to see what it would take to actually pass the next commercial vehicle inspection, and it's going to take an awful lot. So there were a lot of unexpected issues with this equipment. We have researched quite a bit as to what we can do to replace it. So we have a more reliable snow removal system. And again, as in the report, I was sort of alluding to the fact that this is going to be on the next year's capital budget. It's just that it's been, I believe it's important that we push this forward a year. And in working with our CAO, CFO, we do have that reserve that will more than cover this cost. It's just that it's come a year early. That's the ask.
Councillor Downey?
Julian, I just need clarity. I'm totally being a girl here. What are we doing? Are we buying a truck with a plow? Are we buying a piece of equipment to attach to a truck? What kind of a truck are we attaching it to? Like, just what are we getting?
Yep. So basically, at present, we have a 6-yard gravel truck, basically, that's fitted out with a snowplow and a sander. The sand spreader was purchased last year, or actually, beg your pardon, I think we fitted it last year. It's 2020. Yeah, 2020, I came to council and requested that we replace that piece of equipment. So the attachments are okay. It's the actual truck itself. So we've looked at various options, and if you recall, when I was approaching council about the replacement of the gravel truck, this was all part of the process. So now we have a functioning gravel truck, which is perfect. It's not tied up with snow removal equipment. However, now it looks as if the truck itself that supports the snow removal equipment is beyond repair. So we're just replacing that truck and then keeping the snow removal equipment on it.
We're buying a truck. It's what we're buying.
That's basically what we're buying. Yeah. Yep.
Or it says here we're buying equipment, but we're buying a truck is what we're buying.
No, just to clarify, Councillor Downey, there is also tied into this, if you look at anyway, within the report, there is an ask for a plow for the 1-ton pickup truck, which we purchased when we did the pickup truck trade-ins there last year. So there is also a plow to go on that, which is about $7,000, $8,000 of the actual ask, so $75,000.
Are you saying a second plow? So we've got one on the truck, the pickup truck, and you would want another plow on this truck?
On the 1-ton pickup truck, correct. And that is basically an efficiency thing. At present, we use the backhoe to go ahead of the plow truck and clear all the snow in the tight spots, and it's extremely inefficient. It's not really safe, and it's not designed to do that. So the whole plan was to put this forward next year, and unfortunately, this has been kind of preempted, if you will, with the collapse of the Unit 112, which is the existing gravel truck.
Gravel truck that has a plow on the front and a spreader on the back, correct, Julian? And now the
Correct.
gravel truck itself, not the spreader and the snow plow, is disintegrating. So you need a new gravel truck to put the snow plow and the sander that exist on. And additionally, you want a
truck-sized plow to go on the 1 ton that was purchased so that you have extra capacity.
Absolutely correct, Councillor.
Councillor Mitchell, you had your hand up?
Yes, I just wanted to know, have you identified a vehicle, Julian?
We've done a bunch of research and we have a couple of options out there that, yeah, would fit the bill.
And so we don't have to spend as much as we did on our new dump truck.
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna move that we proceed with this.
The seconder for that motion, okay, and Councillor Cole had his hand up?
Julian, what color is it gonna be?
What color did you say?
Yes.
It'll have to be white.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Downing.
Julian, this isn't related to your report, but I want to ask the question here because it's related to snow removal. There are residents in town who have quads and they attach snow plows to them and they will clear sidewalks in their neighborhood. I guess I'm wondering, what do we use to clear our sidewalks? Last winter, many of our sidewalks were not cleared. If they were cleared, the clearing didn't last before the next snow fell or the next plow came by. I'm not trying to lay blame, I'm just saying how can we ensure that we get our sidewalks cleared and kept clear on a consistent basis? And that's my question.
Yep, through the chair, Councillor Downey, we do have attachments that attach to the Kubota tractor, sweepers, plows, that kind of thing that we actually use for the sidewalks. There are many complications with that, like it doesn't actually fit physically on a lot of the sidewalks that we have in this town. So that's a bit of an issue. There's a lot of manual clearing of the sidewalks that has to happen. And although I think this last year was a little bit of an anomaly, like we had a lot of heavy snowfalls, like all at once. And then in keeping with our snow removal policy, sidewalks do actually, other than in the very critical areas, of course, they do fall down below the roads. So it was pretty hard last year to keep up to clearing the sidewalks after the roads. We could actually add to the fleet. That would be adding another piece of mobile equipment, which is definitely something that I've been looking at. And that could be something that we entertain.
The other thing you could entertain as well, I know some of those people who have those plows also have WorkSafe and all their liability insurance, and they're not working in the woods. It might be prudent to come to us at the next budget, some sort of a contingency plan should we ever have bad, budget for contingency if we ever have the kind of winter that we had. Yeah, I'll call the question. All of those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay. Item 7E, August and September 2022 Harbor Authority staff report.
I'd just like to say I like the new pieces in the format. There's a couple things in there that we've asked for, so I'm glad. It might not be perfect yet, but I'm glad to see they're getting in there. Thank you, George. I guess maybe just a quick question. I realized the shower and washroom facility. Where is that?
Where's that?
In a scheme of things here? Good question.
Through the chair. Troy, would you like to answer that, or I can speak on your behalf, but if you're here.
It's 10%.
Good evening, Counselor. Through the chair, I have on the report, it's being tendered out right now, request for purchase. And it's just getting handed off to BC Bid this week. So we should have some answers on the costs associated with the requested first proposal versus the second that the HAG has made it, given advice on to as well. So we should have some prices for you submitted, I'm hoping by next meeting.
No other questions? I just would like to back up to make sure, because that is a statutory reserve. Did we made a motion to fund the truck, but it be understood that that was from reserves by all of the council who voted in favor?
That was the house of the report.
Okay, great. Well, it's just, we just said to approve the purchase, so that's all. Just want to make sure that, Brandon has it.
The motion I have through the chair is,
Yeah.
motion to proceed with snow removal equipment request of $75,000 from the public work.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, on to 7F, visitor experience report.
I'll just say again, the format. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Okay, and then on to item 7G, we've got the economic development report. Oh, yeah, it didn't say move receipt. We can do the staff report. Yeah, I'll then just do the three. If there's no questions, then motion then to E, F, and G, move receipt of the staff reports. All those in favor? 7H, September 2022 building permit update. I'll just take a stab also with saying thank you very much to staff. This was information that we were requesting, and we appreciate doing that. Move receipt. All those in favor? Opposed, carried. Moving on to item 10, new business. We have the first one, 10A, is for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee application. One.
Moving that we accept it, is that the proper terminology? Accept or accept it? Accept it. Okay.
Or appoint to the committee.
Move that we appoint
Dana.
someone to the committee.
Seconder for that.
I have a question. Who brings these forward? Versus the initial, whoever applies automatically goes on, and then once the committee is established, the committee will bring names forward? What is the process?
Chair. I think we'll probably establish that. Right now, there's room for 9 committee members. We're at 7, and then we'll be up to the 9. So, after that, it's others. I think that's fun.
Currently, I think when we have a vacancy, the application then goes to the committee, and the committee brings it forward to council. I think that's the way we've got it. I think this is because it's new. Does that answer your question, Consider?
Yeah, I just, because right now it's kind of like first come, first serve. I guess please don't everybody take this wrong, but who vets whether somebody would be with whether the skill set coming on is what the committee needs. And I just say that because we do have other committees, and often around the table, there will be different skill sets that are sitting there. So in this case, because we're filling it up, we could have, 5 people who are all grant writers and 4 people who are all, something. Do you know what that's all I'm saying is that, but I mean, those things will work themselves out this week.
Yeah, so through the chair, when the deadline for the rec committee. And when. I don't think that's that, but people, there's been more of it. So, yeah, like you said, we'll figure those things. Just-
All those in favor then? Oh, sorry, to call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And then we also have an applicant again for the Parks and Recreation Committee, Miranda Keys. We accept application from Miranda Keys. And for that motion? Any other discussion on it? All those in favor? Opposed? It is carried. There are no items from in camera to be made public. I would like to say to everybody here, thank you for your service to the community these last 4 years. What we went through was absolutely extraordinary. Councillor Mitchell and Councillor Cole, I wish you both well in your next endeavors, and Councillor Barron and Downey, good luck with the election and for putting news forward again. I thank you. And hope we'll be working together on the other side of October 15th. Are there any questions from the public? I don't believe there's any there, and no, yes. So motion to adjourn, please. Seconded. All those in favor? Carried.